This is what you're here for. It's why you collect the Guard. It's why you have 25 Lehman's Rust battle tank in your closet right now. You love tanks. I love tanks. If you don't love tanks, maybe we can change your mind with 3 simple words. Big Dorn Energy. This is the big one, folks. The Hammer of the Emperor Detachment. We'd like to thank Games Workshop for providing us with a preview copy of these rules for review purposes. And if you're more of an old-fashioned treadhead who'd rather read their content than watch it, head on over to goonhammer.com for a written companion to this video. Link in the description. Detachment Rule. Iron Tread. Each time a squadron unit advances, add 6 inches to the unit's move characteristic instead of making an advance roll. When these units make advance moves, they may move within engagement range of enemy models, but cannot end their move within engagement range of enemy models. This is a firmly okay detachment rule. Auto-advancing 6 inches is great for the mobility it gives you, and it pairs beautifully with the Blazing Advance and Crash Through stratagems, which we'll get to in a minute. Those will allow you to move your big honkin' Rogel's Dorn around the map even faster. These enhancements can only be equipped by vehicle officers, and 3 out of 4 are worth taking. This is what Dorn commanders were made for, so get ready to slap these on those bad boys. Calm Under Fire lets your officer double up on a single order, handing it out to 2 units. You'll be taking this every time you make a list to max out your order capacity. Indomitable Steed gives your tank a 6-up Feel No Pain. This helps bump the Rogeldorn tank commander to similar resilience to their non-tank commander version. Statistically, this is a 20% boost in effective wounds for your vehicle. If you've ever thought, drive me closer, I want to hit them with my flag, Regimental Banner is for you. It raises the OC of the model by 3, which isn't amazing. A tank with a veteran crew rerolls 1s to hit with range attacks. It's a solid pick and worth taking whenever you've got the points. Now while the detachment rule is middling, these stratagems are straight bangers. Final Hour can be used on a non-officer squadron unit that's below half strength, letting them ignore penalties to hit in exchange for their weapons all turning hazardous. It'll be very funny when you take 12 mortal wounds in your own shooting phase from this, but the real utility is when you have a damaged tank tied up in melee. This will allow you to fire at full effectiveness with that vehicle, and if you explode, you'll have the opportunity to freely fire at whatever was previously engaged with it. Blazing Advance lives up to its name, letting a squadron unit advance and shoot. With the automatic 6-inch advance from your detachment rule, this offers some high-speed damage output. Tactical Withdrawal is a simple fallback and shoot stratagem, and one which single-handedly changes how aggressive you can be with your tanks. One of the key challenges of playing vehicles is keeping them from getting tied up in combat, and this allows you to push forward with your Dorns and Russes with confidence that you won't get stuck. Crash Through is one of those Kool-Aid Man stratagems, letting your giant tanks crash through walls like they weren't even there. You'll need it just to get around on some terrain layouts. Furious Cannonade ups the AP of your shooting attacks by 1 against a unit within 12 inches. Nothing want to get shot by an AP4 Demolisher Cannon or AP5 Melt-A-Gun, and you'll delight in slamming this out on the regular. Ablative Plating was rehomed from the Index's Combined Arms Detachment, reducing incoming damage by 1 on one of your vehicles for the shooting phase. It's expensive at 2 command points, but it can be a lifesaver for your big tanks, especially when you stack it with Smoke or Indomitable Steed. This detachment leans into the speed and concentration of firepower that armored vehicles can bring to the battlefield. Tank players will find themselves right at home in this detachment. The only challenge will be determining which mix of units you want to bring along to get the maximum effects out of your favorite metal boxes. Elite infantry like Kasserkin and Toroxes can keep up with your tanks or race forward for objective play, while low-cost artillery can camp in your backfield and pepper the targets your tanks can't quite reach. As is often the case, Cadians to sticky some objectives will be useful here, as your tanks range out to bulldoze whatever's in their way. Now let's look at the strengths and weaknesses. As a certain unnamed UNSC Marine once said, tank beats everything. And it's true! And this detachment helps you do it better. Start your lists with 3 Rogel's Dorn and go from there. Mobility. This detachment is fast. With your stratagems, you can advance a squadron unit 19 inches and still fire. A Torox can advance 21 inches and dump out elite infantry to fire in critical positions. Upgrades. We've got a very strong lineup of enhancements and stratagems in this detachment. 3 enhancements are competitive, and 5 of the stratagems are strong. Now unfortunately, your non-battle tank units are gonna get left behind. Outside of Rogel's Dorn and Lehman's Rust, everything else is gonna have a hard time. You're leaving a lot on the table if you usually take a wide range of unit types. The detachment rule. An automatic 6-inch advance move is fine, but it's weak compared to the rest of the codex. Board control. If you're a board control player, this detachment doesn't do you any favors. Go have a look at the Siege Regiment or Recon element. If you love tanks, you've found your home for the rest of the edition. We're likely going to see a lot of this detachment throughout 10th edition, regardless of whether you're a Guard player or the player standing across the table. Most folks get into the Imperial Guard for the love of the tread and have a similar ride or die approach to list building. This detachment enables your dumb dedication to one unit type, and it shores up some key weaknesses they bring via stratagems. We've got no doubt that Guard players all over the world will be making fewer friends than ever with this detachment in their arsenal. If you're still feeling dorked up, head on over to goonhammer.com to read more about this detachment and see how we plan on running it. If you really want to keep our treads rolling and give tanks, you can also support us on Patreon. I've been Conqueror McLeeman Russ, and thank you for coming to my tank talk.